there literally are no words. None. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to defend what we just witnessed. The game isn't even over, by the way. I've started the broadcast early. As of right now, according to my box score, your score is 24-3. The Bengals are losing, a minute 48 left to go. But I do see that Jason Campbell has gotten into the game. I honestly have no words. There is nothing I can say in this podcast tonight that can defend what our quarterback did tonight. There was nothing that I can say. So I'm hoping that you will have something to say. I'm sure that there are a lot of you watching this right now here at CincyJungle.com who are very angry, very upset, and rightly so. Yet another game in prime time where the Bengals looked absolutely pathetic. And that's being nice, I think. I was accused today on Twitter of being pessimistic, and somebody threatened to unfollow me. It's kind of hard to be optimistic with this franchise. It's kind of hard. I don't know what to say. Andy Dalton, 10 of 33. 10 of 33. Are you kidding me? For 86 yards. That's a 2.6 yard average, guys. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Your leading receiver today, Jermaine Gresham, 3 catches for 29 yards. I'm at a loss for words. I can't. One part of me thinks, man, I get so excited for these primetime games. But why? They have never played well in primetime. And when they win, they don't even do it looking very, very good. I just don't understand. Brian Hoyer today for the Browns, for all the talk about the weather and all the wind, 15 of 23 for 198 yards. And guess what? No turnovers. No turnovers. Wouldn't that be nice? We thought that the difference might be the running game. Check this out, folks. You ready for this? The Browns rushed the ball 52 times for 170 yards. There you go. West with 26 carries for 94 yards. Remember when Jeremy Hill ran the ball 24 times a week ago? I mean, look, we knew when the game started, the Browns were putting 9 in the box, and they were daring Andy Dalton to beat them. They were daring him all game to beat them. So, yeah, you couldn't run the football. It's awfully tough to run the football with all that congestion there in the box. But today, Jeremy Hill, by the way, it is a final now. Thanks, ESPN, for finally updating my box score. Jeremy Hill, 12 carries, 55 yards. I mean, that's a 4.5 yard average, but you needed about 12 more of those carries. The story of the game, though, it comes down to quarterback play. And we talked about it all night, Wednesday night, on the podcast about how Dalton gets so much blame and so much criticism, yet when he does do something well, he never gets any praise. Well, it's tough. It's tough not to criticize him when he plays like he did tonight. He was overthrowing receivers by 10 yards, throwing the receivers out of bounds. He had a touchdown pass to Mohamed Sanu. Maybe the wind took it, I don't know. But it went out of bounds. Just not a good night. Get in touch, though, Bengals fans. I want to hear from you. 404-946-3397. Let's start off the show. Area code 614. Hi, who's this? 614, are you there? I got nothing from you, 614. Try calling back. Again, if you want to get in touch, 404-946-3397 is the number to call. If for some reason you are outside of the country and you want to speak up Inside the Jungle is our Skype account. Today, the Browns rushed for 170 yards. And as a team, as an offense, the Bengals had 165 yards. The Browns outrushed our total offense. That is disgusting. Let's try the Jungle line again, though. Area code 757. Hi, who's this?
Hey, how you doing, Nick? It's Matt in Virginia.
Hey, Matt. What's up?
Nick, if you would do me a favor and allow me to finish my comments here, I would appreciate just a couple minutes of your time.
All right, Matt, bring it on.
Wednesday night, and don't get me wrong here. This is not just frustration from the Bengals. Wednesday night, I appreciate you guys. Actually, your opinions and Anthony, frankly, more than Scott or Mickey. But you guys aren't getting paid for this. You're doing everything right for the Bengals because you're loyal Bengal fans. You love them. You want them to win just like we do. But the conversation basically with Mickey and Scott in particular was talking about the fans and how we whine and we're complaining about Andy Dalton all the time and shame on us, and for some reason we're not true fans because of the fact that we do that. The bottom line is Andy Dalton is terrible. He is not a leader. The best play of the game from Andy Dalton tonight was when he ran for a first down, and he almost lost the ball there again like he did with San Diego in the playoffs. And just because a fan says what is true and voices his opinion or her opinion about what really is going on doesn't mean we're any less of a fan than someone else who just sits there and blindly is loyal to the team for whatever reason. It's just very frustrating. I've been a season ticket holder for over 15 years, and I made the decision tonight I am not renewing my season tickets.
Wow.
I just, I live in Virginia. I only get to a couple games a year to begin with. I can't sell a preseason ticket. The game's there. I didn't sell 2 sets of tickets so far this year, so I'm out like $800 for that. And I expect more from the team. I expect them to win. I expect them to win playoff games, and they aren't doing that. And it's very frustrating to hear Mickey and Scott in particular kind of beat up the fans for being truthful. And then see Andy do exactly what we know that he is capable of doing. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm not trying to be negative on you all, but and thank you for everything you do. And I know, hopefully you didn't take any of that personal. But anyway, that's just all I had to say. And do appreciate your time.
All right, appreciate the call, Matt.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Hooday. Matt, starting us off with Bang from Virginia here on the podcast. I have no words. I cannot defend our quarterback tonight. There's nothing that I can say. Maybe I can throw him a lifeline tonight that maybe the offensive line was not great. I mean, Marshall Newhouse, your right tackle. I think we missed Andre Smith, and Andre's not been great this year either. I just there's nothing that I can say to defend what happened tonight. Even some of the play calling, I thought they, when you see your quarterback struggling to make throws and get completions, you could tell his confidence wasn't there. If I'm Hugh Jackson, and maybe they couldn't do this because the Browns just teed off on this offense, I'm throwing short passes, something that makes it very easy to complete passes. To get your confidence up and let you get your confidence up. But they for whatever reason, they try to throw it deep and have these long pass. I don't know. Let's go to the Skype line. Is this Mark?
Yeah, this is Mark calling from China.
Hey, Mark from China. Can you do me a favor? And can you you might have to stop the stream because I'm hearing myself in the background.
Okay, I got it turned down now.
All right. From China, what's on your mind today? I guess it would be today for you.
It's Friday here now. I don't know how it looked from there, but from here it looked pretty bad tonight.
It looked that bad here too.
AJ Green had more drops than really we should be accepting from him. He needs to catch the ball, and if you guys talked about it Wednesday night, he gets a pass, but he drops the ball a lot.
Yeah, he does. There were a couple plays tonight where the ball was in his hands and the defender knocked it out. There were times where, well, let's face it too, Ark, the quarterback couldn't get him the ball in the first place. So you could also probably understand A.J. Green's frustration. We saw some of that come out there towards the end of the game.
Yeah, he needs to control that too, I think. And I've been a Bengals fan for over 30 years, so I've been through a lot of ups and downs. And this year I really had high hopes for him, especially after the 3-0 start. But injuries have really plagued them. There's no doubt about that. But they have the weapons, even now with the injuries. They have the weapons to do a lot better than they did tonight.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, Mark. It's very disappointing. I thought that there was a chance that we could have seen Mohamed Sanu have a big game tonight, and he was non-existent. I mean, your leading receiver tonight was Jermaine Gresham with 3 catches. That's it, 3. I mean, that's pretty bad when you're only completing 10 out of 33 as well. So they've never had a chance tonight.
And it sounds like a broken record. I know on your show and in the past we've all been saying this. If you can't get ready for big games, if you can't coach a team, if you can't win games when you have this kind of talent, it's got to be on the coaches.
Yeah. I don't know how many of these we're going to have to keep enduring before somebody realizes it's not working. I think we need to start begging the NFL to not put us on primetime, that's for sure.
And the primetime games are terrible. It makes me nervous every time I know we've got a primetime game. My body gets all tense, and it's just disappointing to see the way they come out and embarrass themselves on national television. And I love the Bengals. I will continue to be loyal to them. But it's frustrating. I don't really have any solutions to it other than maybe Marvin Lewis needs to really start getting in some people's faces and getting them ready for these big games.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I had the answers as well. But yeah, here we are, how many years in the Marvin Lewis era, and we still cannot seem to figure it out in primetime. It's very disappointing, and I certainly understand your frustration, Mark, and I hope it doesn't put a complete damper on your weekend.
No, it won't. But where do we go from here? I mean, where does the team go from here? At this point, it seems really bleak. I mean, I know we're only going to be a game or a game and a half back in the division, but when at home you get beat that badly, and recently the games we've won have been barely winning, and now we've got teams like New Orleans, and we still got to play Pittsburgh twice. It's just I don't have a positive outlook for the rest of the season. Yeah,
tonight was a pretty important game. They definitely needed to win. They've got to go to New Orleans, to Houston. They've got Pittsburgh twice, like you said, and then Denver on primetime as well. So it doesn't bode well. You're right, Mark. But crazier things have happened.
Make matters worse, I have a son who's a Broncos fan and a son who's a Cardinals fan, and these guys are getting pretty hard to live with.
I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Hopefully the Bengals turn it around for you, Mark.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate you taking the call.
Thank you for calling from China. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Okay.
That's Mark on the Skype line giving us a ring here from China. That's pretty cool to hear from a fan over there. Area code 513. Hi, who's this?
This is Mike Hudson Sucks.
Hello, Mike Hudson Sucks. You were there tonight. Your thoughts?
I was there tonight. I left after the not the last interception, but the screen interception. I was down in the north end zone, and that was like right in front of me. So I was like, I'm done. So I have 2 things I want to bring up.
Okay.
Woman, in my other fantasy league, I know everybody loves when other people talk about their fantasy leagues, right? But in my other fantasy league, I got Andy Dalton and Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck is on a bye this week, so I played Andy Dalton. I got -5 from Andy Dalton. I should have played Andrew Luck.
Yes, you should have.
The other thing is I'm not really seeing a whole lot of difference between this team and 2011. What happened in 2011? We had a perfect record against teams that didn't make the playoffs. The Ravens are probably not going to make the playoffs. And we had a perfectly losing record against teams that didn't make the playoffs. So, that's just the way I see this shaking down.
Well, 2011, they still made the postseason, too.
We did. We probably will this year. We'll have to see. but I see the Browns getting second, if not first, in the division, and us maybe bringing up third, just like 2011. We picked up that last spot at 9-7.
Yeah, it's looking bleak. They got to go on the road to New Orleans. That's never easy.
Yeah, we only got
Pittsburgh
2 more
twice
home
and
games.
Denver. 2 more home games. That's right. Pittsburgh and Denver come to town. This is a pretty important game for the Bengals, and unfortunately, they just did not show up here in prime time.
That's right.
Well, hopefully you stayed
Well,
warm
that's
at the
all I
game
wanted
tonight,
to know.
Mike.
I'm going to open up your line. Houday.
Houday. Appreciate the call, Mike.
Later.
All right, Bengals fans, if you want to get in touch, 404-946-3397. Continue to call. If I don't get through to you, I will answer as many calls as we get here on this Thursday night. By the way, so incredibly thankful I took the night off of work so I could watch that performance. But I'm glad I'm here so that I can help ease the pain and give some Bengals therapy. Area code 541. Hi, who's this?
This is Andy from Oregon. How's it going?
Hey, Andy from Oregon. At least it's early for you.
Yeah, just what I need to stay up longer so I can think about this more.
All right, lay it on me.
So I have come to the conclusion that, and I don't see how Mike Brown hasn't come to this conclusion, Marvin Lewis, he's just got to go. I mean, I like the guy personally, not that I know him, but from what I see of him, you know, he's a good man, and he's a good football coach to a point, but what we've seen these last 12 years or whatever it's been is the Cincinnati Bengals cannot, will not perform when all eyes are on them. And that's just not acceptable in this league. I mean, you think about this guy has never won a playoff game and has still retained his job. And what other sport? You think all the 4 major sports, what coach can say that has their job and they've never won a playoff game?
And with as many appearances as he's had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been different quarterbacks, different coordinators, different players. It's been through a generation, football speaking, and still the same results. Everybody gets hyped up. This will be the game. All eyes, we're going to show them that this is a new Bengals team. And we let the Cleveland Browns, granted they're good this year, but the Cleveland Browns come into our house, stomp on our field. Our fans were gone. It was like a home game for them the whole fourth quarter. It's just, and that's got to be from the top down. I mean, Dalton, I don't even want to talk about Dalton, but it's a top down, and it's got to be the head coach that's responsible for that.
I have no words to defend it, Andy. I mean, Marvin Lewis can't go out there and throw passes. And I don't know what Marvin can do to prepare Andy Dalton for a game. I mean, that was physical tonight. It wasn't mental. That was physical. You couldn't complete a pass.
And you can't even say it was the elements. They were showing a lot of the flag blowing in the wind early in the game. But Hoyer was seeming to throw beautiful passes, nice spirals. And they even mentioned, I don't know if you caught it early in the game, about that Dalton had changed his release point, or I don't know if it was just this game or if he had been working on it or something, but whatever it is, he needs to stop it and go back to what it was before. It's just wounded ducks galore, overthrows everywhere. I don't know if he was pressing it, if it's in his head. He just did not look like a professional starting quarterback in the NFL this season. Yep,
it was pretty bad. I have no words. I cannot defend Andy Dalton tonight. We've seen him play really well, but tonight was the worst of the worst.
It really was, and I'm thinking if you think about the last 4 games, we beat the Ravens, we beat the Jaguars, but our 2 losses with the Colts and then against this game, we scored a total of 3 points in 8 quarters. And we're lucky we got 3 points tonight because the fumble, or else we could have got shut out again at home in prime time from a division rival. I mean, there's a lot of season left, and when you look at the record, yeah, we're 5-3-1. I mean, theoretically, we could still finish the season 12 wins. I know that's probably not going to happen, but this team has a shot to make the playoffs. We can still win our division. It's one division loss, but with performances like this, I don't know. They need to get a long week. It's a mini bye. They need to get their heads on and get ready, because they have 2 home games left the rest of the year, and they have a tough schedule coming up, and they need to make it count, because otherwise we are going to be watching the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs and not the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep. I hear you, Andy.
Well, thanks for letting me vent. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I think my wife and kid are tired of hearing me vent, so somebody else and all the Houday Nation out there. But we have time left. We can turn it around. It's one game, as they say. So Houday, everybody, and thanks a lot.
All right, appreciate the call, Andy. Glad to be here to help you vent. Let's go to the Skype line. My friend from the Great White North, Mike Vardy. What's happening, Mike?
You know what? The worst part about this is I don't get to go to bed right after this game. I still got a couple hours to stay up and wallow in what just happened.
Dude, I work third shift, so I don't go to bed till tomorrow morning.
Oh dear! So you've got it even worse than me. This was abhorrent. I mean, it was just it. Dalton was all over the map. I mean, it was a bad game. And what's with benching Hill? Like, what was with that? I just don't get it. I don't know what's going on here. I certainly hope that we don't get the same reaction they had the last time they turned up in a primetime game and Whitworth was kind of, well, we'll get better. Like, someone's got to light a fire under these guys, because we're not going anywhere if we keep playing like this.
Well, the one saving grace I will offer up is that, a week after being shut out by the Colts, they did knock off Baltimore. And so here we are a week after, being embarrassed by Cleveland. They have an extra couple days to prepare for a Saints team that hasn't looked like world beaters this year. So it wouldn't be out of the any stretch to say they can't go into New Orleans and win. Now, if the team that shows up tonight does that, they are going to lose by 40.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing: is that what I'm kind of getting tired of is what's going on. Is we just say, well, but next week, well, look what we've got here, or this is what we did the week after we got blown out. We need to not face this. We need to be playing. If we're going to be contenders, we can't play like pretenders. I mean, injuries aside, yes, we're going to get Eifert back. Bernard was out, which limited our options to a certain extent. But the O-line wasn't giving him any protection, and Dalton wasn't doing himself any favors either. And the defense, our defense is a shell of its former self at this point, especially when you don't have Burfict and even Maluga in there. It's just they are scattered. The Bengals are scattered right now, and tonight was on full display.
Which is very unfortunate. Ugh.
It is, because you want to. You want to know that when they play in prime time that they can shine, and they can't. And the thing is it took forever to shake off the whole Bungles image in terms of what we've done over the past few years. But this little nugget here is the thing that we just can't shake off, and nor will anyone let go of. So yes, we're still above 500. Yes, the last time this happened, we went in and we beat up a team that was at home, no less. But we beat up a team that is in our division and that we can, is a strong rival. A team as strong as, say, the Saints to a large extent. Probably, actually, the Saints, like you said, they're probably not as strong at this point. But, we can't keep going in saying, well, at least next week this, at least next week that, because there won't be a next week a heck of a lot sooner if we keep going in playing the way we've been playing.
Yeah. I hope they turn it around, Mike.
Yeah.
But we will see.
It's you know what? Someone's got to go in there and be a leader. Jones, there was one play, and I'm sure it was plain as day, where they were short of first down, and Jones, instead of being aggressive, waited, and they got the first down. I think it was West that was running. It may have been Crow, whatever. Ran and got the first down because Jones was kind of like, well, let's just wait and see what he does.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing that Newman did a couple weeks ago when He just kind of waited to see what was going to happen there. And we saw it again tonight later as they were getting in the red zone. Two Bengals defenders, can't remember who they were offhand. Both of them seemed like they could have tackled, but they both said, well, I wonder if the other guy is going to get him. Let's just not do anything. So there's a lot of apprehension here, and that apprehension is going to kill us because it's a lack of hunger and a lack of it comes off as a lack of desire, and then we're just not the team that we seem to be on paper, injuries aside. So something needs to happen, and someone in that locker room needs to say, a player, a coach, whatever. I don't think we're going to hear it from the coaches. A player needs to come in and say, look, we can't keep playing like this. We got to step it up, because I can tell you right now, the way we're playing, we could be in the basement of that division.
Well, I hope you're wrong, Mike. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be optimistic.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, the way we played tonight, there was no room for optimism right now.
No.
They need to go back to the drawing board and figure some stuff out. But anyway, Nick, thanks again for doing this. On a Thursday night, especially when you have to stay up longer and ruminate over this a little longer than the rest of us.
I'll find something to keep my head away from this game. That's for sure.
Who day, buddy?
Who day, Mike? Appreciate the call.
Cheers.
If you want to get in touch, 404-946-3397 is the number to call if you're outside the country. Skype me at Inside the Jungle. Again, I will take your calls as long as we keep getting them. So please continue to keep calling. Mike brought up a good point about leadership and who's going to call out the team and take a stand on what happened. Your quarterback is supposed to be your leader, supposed to be your vocal guy. But when you go out and play the way you did, I don't know how much he can say. I mean, I don't even know what I can say to defend what happened tonight. I mean, I don't know. Maybe area code 703 can help me out here. Hi, who's this?
This is Richard Rolson.
Hey, Richard. How are you, man?
Oh, I am hurting. So that was worse than San Diego. I mean, I honestly was like, what was that? I couldn't believe how disorganized. I was honestly asking the football gods, where was Andy Dalton, because he's not at that field right now. I mean, his throws were terrible, and he didn't seem to be on the same page with his receivers. Sanu is open. If he throws it in to the inside on that end zone pass, he's got a touchdown, but he threw it outside. Then he lost that one that just gets taken by the wind. They couldn't line up in that first quarter where they had to take a timeout because they couldn't line up right. He runs 4 yards past the line of scrimmage and then throws the ball.
Oh.
When if he tucks it, he at least gets another 5-6 yards, and we get an easier field goal. Yeah, maybe we don't get the first down, but I just, where was his brain? and our defense just seemed like they were back on their heels. I couldn't believe how we were just getting manhandled, and I honestly just thought, this team is not prepared for this game, and I don't get that. I don't get how we weren't prepared for it. The Browns aren't the Browns of the past. We knew that it was going to be a dogfight. Where was our team?
Yeah, they never showed up. It comes down to coaching. It comes down to being prepared. I know it was a short week. That's no excuse, though. Both teams had a short week. But you're right.
According to them, they were preparing since the bye for this week.
That's true. That's a good point. They did. I did read that today. It was a microcosm of the night, and I'm glad you brought this up, when Dalton was scrambling and he was 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and threw a pass. I mean, that tells you what you need to know, that his head was not – he wasn't in the game at all tonight.
Right, yeah, and that surprised me. I honestly was shocked. And there were a couple good little gadget plays. The one to right, was a great little play, and you'd see these moments like, okay, now let's just kind of build on that, and they just never seemed to be able to build anything. It was, Pierman, they have a 2nd and 2, and Pierman kind of dances behind the line and loses 3. It was like, it was so maddening. And to be honest, Dalton should have had another interception when he threw it right to the safety. When if he leads AJ Green, Green's going to have a great game. And that was the thing that was bugging me, is that when you would see plays, it was like, if he looks around, he does have some choices. failed at all tonight. So I really think the Bengals do have to, like had been said before, they need to sit down. They need to take this time, the team members, and they need to say, hey, are we letting the season go, or are we, turning it around? Because they got to look at themselves in the mirror. This was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of games like, the victory in Baltimore is kind of negated because of this loss now. It's like now we have to we got to get a win that we're not expecting now. So, and that's hopefully Houston or New Orleans, we can do that. So.
I hope you're right, Richard.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm taking my dad to the Houston games.
Oh, cool.
We're traveling across the country.
Fantastic.
Hopefully that karma will help us.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there, 100%. Appreciate the call, Richard.
Not a problem. You have a good night.
Enjoy your weekend. Hoo day, buddy.
I will. Bye.
Bye.
Who did?
Get in touch. 404-946-3397 is the number to call. Skype us inside the jungle. Andy Dalton's quarterback rating tonight was 2. Literally the number 2. 2. That's it. Quarterback rating of 2. He had 3 interceptions. Chew on that, Bengals fans. Area code 901. Hi, who's this?
Hey, how you doing? This is Ryan out of Memphis.
Hey, Ryan in Memphis. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, this game is just horrible. This was just downright horrible on Andy Dalton's part and Marvin Lewis. I'm just convinced we need a new coaching staff.
All right. So you want a new coaching staff, which is fine. I completely respect that opinion. Who do you want to see in Cincinnati?
To be honest with you, I'm not even sure. It's not that I don't like Marvin Lewis. I have been a big fan of his since he's come to Cincinnati. He has done a wonder with our organization. I mean, 6 playoff appearances is wonderful. It's just we cannot seem to do this big stage thing. And it's starting to get to me. I mean, in situations like tonight, I feel as though the coach should be able to come in and come up with something for his quarterback to help him out. And all I saw was just more drop passes, and Dalton can't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it all on Dalton's shoulders. He is overthrowing everyone, but there's not that many people open.
No, not a lot of guys open. I think the play calling didn't help his calls either. Again, there are a lot of Dalton bashers out there, and to be fair, I cannot defend what he did tonight. But I thought that there were a lot of play calls with a lot of long developing routes that just allowed the pressure to get to him. If it was me, I would be calling short dink and dunk kind of plays, and maybe the Browns were sitting on that, Ryan. I don't know. But that's what I would do. When you see your quarterback struggling like he was to just complete a pass, get some short throws in his system so that he can get some confidence and get a rhythm going. He couldn't do that tonight.
Exactly. I mean, even the pass with Sanu, it felt like he was trying to get a rhythm going, and the wind overtook that one pass, and they just kind of threw him off on what he was trying to do for the rest of the night. But he was never able to just get 2-3 completions in a row where he could just kind of get something flowing.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no defense, Ryan.
I mean, I honestly love this team. I've grown up with this team. I'm only 26 years old. I mean, I've seen some bad years, and I'm thankful for Andy Dalton. And I'm a firm believer. I think we can pull off a playoff. I even think we can still win the division just because that is our first loss in the division. And I think, in my personal opinion, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go down once they start getting into December. It's just one of my Bengals hopes, but I don't see us doing much better than we did last year. I don't see us getting out of the first game. If the coach cannot prepare the team for a short week like this one, or for that matter, for that long game against the Patriots, I mean, what if we scored a total of 10 points in our big games this year?
Yeah.
That's just horrendous. And these guys went 8 straight tries without a third down conversion, and that's just horrible. Downright horrible. And all those third downs are not impossible to get to.
Yeah, I have no defense, Ryan. I wish there was something that I could say that would make you feel better. I guess maybe that they have a couple extra days to get ready for New Orleans.
This 3-game stretch is going to be tough. I honestly think we can come out of there 2-1. I think we can pull off all 3. I just think New Orleans is the bump. That's the one that's going to be hard to get over. But, my goodness.
Well,
Yeah.
try to cheer up, Ryan.
I will, man. And I appreciate the show. I listen every week.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you calling in. Don't be a stranger, all right, bud?
All right, man.
Good day. You too. That's Ryan from Memphis giving us a ring here on the Jungle Line. If you want to get in touch, 404-946-3397. At New Orleans, at Houston, at Tampa, the next three, then home to Pittsburgh. Ooh, we know his history against the Titans. The Texans. And, after I said those comments just a minute ago about, short completions, quick throws for Andy Dalton, even when he attempts those, they're batted down at the line of scrimmage. So maybe they were trying to get those to him as well, but the defense just I have no answers. I have nothing. I have nothing tonight, Bengals fans. Area code 808. Hi, who's this?
Hey, Imani from Hawaii.
How are you doing tonight? What's on your mind? At least you're in Hawaii. That's all I got to say.
Dude, that's the move right there. That's like why I'm able to even still be okay to talk to you guys.
All right, lay it on me. Your thoughts?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I just wanted to talk about a couple of positive things, actually. I know it's super sad and stuff, and everyone's freaking out here, and such. But, there was a couple of pieces of silver lining here.
All right. I would love to hear that.
Dre fucking Kirkpatrick.
Okay. It is a family show, but all right.
I'm sorry. My bad.
That's all right.
But no, I'm serious, man. I mean, like, I hated this dude for the last 2 years, I hated him since we drafted him, but he's turned into, like, a legit gunner.
Oh, yeah. He's a great special teams player. There's no debating that. I agree. He's probably one of the best gunners in the NFL, hands down.
So right now, while we're dealing with Kevin Huber, who's really struggling, it's just a really nice thing to see tonight with some consistency out of one of our younger corners.
Yeah, look, I don't think the question's ever really been his ability on special teams, but for whatever reason, I don't know why. Look, to be honest, the problem wasn't Terrence Newman and Adam Jones tonight. That wasn't the issue. I mean, Brian Hoyer didn't light up the Cincinnati skyline tonight. I mean, he only had 198 yards passing.
Yeah.
The defense, though, they gave up 170 yards rushing. But I mean, I didn't think the cornerback was all that bad. But I agree with you that yes, Drake Kirkpatrick on special teams has been fantastic.
Hey, man, here, living in the 808, Chief, we got to at least look for some sort of positivity out of these things, right? I mean, we're sorry that we gave you guys Ray Maluga. We're sorry, okay?
You gave me Manti Te'o as well, but I'm okay with that.
Hey, no, we didn't give Cincinnati anything, Manti, okay? So we won't even discuss him. But no, another thing I just wanted to talk, just a little bit up. Vinny Ray, I thought he played a little bit well.
Yeah, I mean, Vinny Ray, I mean, look, I'm just being frank and honest about it. He's a backup linebacker on this team, but he's being forced to play because of all the injuries. And you're right, he had 10 tackles tonight. Lamar with 11 tackles, and Nico Johnson, who they just recently signed, he had 10 tackles. So they had three guys in double digits.
There you go. And then also, too, I really just got to give a big shout-out to, George Aloka. He continues to impress me. First of all, being 6'5". I mean, he's not a playmaker yet, but he's turning into like more of a ball hawk type of an intimidator. Like Robert Sands was. Who we thought Robert Sands was going to be. A predator. We need some aggression back there. We don't have it.
Yeah, I think that he has definitely come along. I'm glad that the Bengals have him in their secondary. I like his physicality in the run game. I like that he's getting better at tracking passes. I'd like to see more interceptions, but at the end of the day, he's still getting better, and he's still young, which is awesome. And I'm glad that you called in and you gave us some things to be positive about on such a downer night. Appreciate the call.
You do a great job, man, and you do a really good job fielding all the calls, too. So, mahalo.
Thank you. Mahalo. I like that. Mahalo. I might start using that from now on. Appreciate the call.
All right, Chief.
Hooday. So China and Hawaii and Oregon and Canada. Man, we are on fire tonight, Bengals fans. Get in touch. 404-946-3397 is the number to call. If you're watching us live here at cincyjungle.com and you're here on the East Coast, thanks for staying up way past midnight. Maybe not way past midnight, but it is after midnight here on the East Coast on a work night for most of you. So thank you for tuning in live. A lot of the headlines and a lot of the discussion is going to be about the play of Andy Dalton. There's no doubting that. I mean, 10 of 33 is going to do that. But I will say this. His offensive line did him no favors tonight. Marshall Newhouse looked very poor. And this is one of your big free agent acquisitions in the offseason. I mean, I have no defense for what happened with our quarterback tonight. Area code 609. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Josh from New Jersey.
Hey, Josh from Jersey. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I'm also calling to try to shed some positivity on this situation.
All right, I like it. We need to be more positive. Bring it on.
Well, the good news is that Andy Dalton's performance was only the third worst in primetime history in the NFL. So that's good.
Okay. I would like to know what are the two that were worse. Do you have that information?
I don't.
All right. Either way, what we all know, Josh, is that it was the worst of the worst that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So what's positive about it? Just that it was not the worst all time, or just the third worst?
Yeah, pretty much. Just that it wasn't the worst.
Oh, I needed a laugh. Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no problem. The other good news is that because I live in New Jersey, I have watched a total of 3 Bengals games. The first would be the Patriots.
Oh, man.
Then we have the Colts.
Oh.
And we have tonight. So, for fans in the Cincinnati area, you get to see good Bengals.
That's true.
Don't.
Yeah. And you're probably subject to a lot of Jets football as well, unfortunately.
Well, I live 8 minutes away from Center City, Philly. So
Okay.
what I have to put up with is all the Eagles fans saying what a terrible coach Andy Reid was for being in Philadelphia about as long as Cincinnati, as Marvin Lewis has been in Cincinnati, and only taking them to the Super Bowl once and winning numerous playoff games. So that's really tough. I can only imagine.
Yeah. Oh.
I feel like all alone here in New Jersey, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, you'll get to see him at least one more time when they play Denver in a couple weeks, and hopefully maybe Peyton will sit out because they won't need him to play.
That would be kind of nice. The last primetime game they won, which was against the Steelers,
Yeah.
I drove out with one of my buddies for 9 hours each way against the Steelers, which was kind of nice. So the only way I've seen them win in primetime is by driving 9 hours. So if people want to take up a collection for me to drive out to Cincinnati every week, I can do that.
Are you our good luck charm? I like it.
I try. But I just wanted to give you guys a word of encouragement, too. I read your stuff all the time on Cincy Jungle, and I listen to the podcasts, and you make my 2-hour drive to school each way really worth it.
Awesome.
So I just appreciate that. So keep up the good work.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate the call.
Yep.
Hooday. Enjoy your night. Let's see here. Who are we going to talk to next? I believe I might have Fatal Content here on the horn maybe shortly. In case you missed it, Andy Dalton's quarterback rating, 2, the number 2. Just like how he played tonight. But where's the rim shot when you need it? Fatal Content, what's on your mind tonight, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? I see you're running late tonight, man. That's dedication by you, my friend.
Hey, I'm here for the people. I'm here for you Bengals fans. I'm here to let you vent. I know. Look, and we talked about it last night on the show about all the negativity. Well, that didn't help our cause tonight.
No, it didn't, man. That was I honestly, as optimistic as I am, I have nothing to say. That was disgraceful. That was by far the worst game of the year, even including the Colts and including the Patriots. That was by far the worst game. I mean, 10 for 31 at one point. That was horrific.
10 for 33 to end the night. Three interceptions. His quarterback rating was 2. He had more picks than he had quarterback rating.
Yeah, that definitely was bad. I think whoever that guy was that dressed in for Andy Dalton tonight, I don't know where the real Andy Dalton was. Maybe he tied him up in the back of the stadium or something.
Well, is that the real Andy Dalton? That is the question, Fatal. And we're going to hear a lot about that the next 10 days.
And you know what? For the next 10 days, he deserves every bit of pessimistic or bad reviews that he gets, because that was just a terrible performance by him, by the entire offense, and I just can't even give it an excuse. AJ Green didn't show up, and I usually apologize for him. He was horrendous. Jeremy Hill kind of brought a chuckle to my face when he said that they weren't as good as he thought they were. I mean, 24-3 says that they were better than you thought they were.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean the Browns didn't do a whole lot of. There wasn't anything flashy from an offensive standpoint, but yet they didn't need to because they ran the ball 170 yards.
Exactly. They ran the ball 170 yards. They beat us up on defense. They, controlled the trenches. Nonetheless, it was against the backup, but they abused Newhouse. It was just, I guess they were better than we thought they were.
They were. The Browns had a good night. The Bengals certainly did not. Your prospects, as they now will head to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
Wow. Let's just hope that after tonight, how can I come and just say that we're going to bounce back? I believe we will. I still have faith in this team to bounce back, but after a night like tonight, you kind of have to digest this before you can jump in any type of optimism, But I think tomorrow morning I'll wake up and probably feel a little better. But this kind of tells you that Giovanni Bernard is important to this offense, man.
Yeah. Well, not just him. I think that Tyler Eifert's important. I think I think to an extent Andre Smith is as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say this: Jermaine Gresham was our toughest guy tonight.
Gresh was our leading receiver, 3 catches for 29 yards. So, yes, you're right. He was targeted 6 times. By the way, A.J. Green targeted 10 times, Fatal, and he only had 3 catches.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, you know what? I will say this in A.J. Green's defense, which is kind of hard to defend anyone, 10 for 33.
Right.
Mean, it wasn't just A.J. Green.
No.
I mean, he obviously, no one was getting the ball, not even Sanu. So I'm with you guys, man. This was a terrible performance. Pessimistic Bengals fans enjoy because you have 10 days to relish this. There's no excuse for this. No excuse for this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Thursday night injuries, I don't care. 24-3 at home. That in the way that we looked, it was despicable. It was terrible. Thank goodness for Leo. It would have been horrible.
Yeah. I mean, I have no words. Fatal. Appreciate you staying up late and for the call, and I guess we'll talk to you on Wednesday night.
Definitely, man. No, kudos to you, man, for running this and being so passionate. I mean, on a night like tonight, we would have been fine if it would have said off air, offline. You never showed up for this show, so you know what?
Canceled. No show tonight.
Yeah, I give you credit for not calling in the rain check, man. Credit to you, man. You're a passionate fan.
Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all you do for the show. We'll talk to you Wednesday, bud. Have a good weekend.
No problem, man. We'll bounce back, man. Who they?
Who they? That's Fatal. Trying to be positive. I think we all at some point are trying to be positive a little bit. It's rough. It's absolutely rough. But, I'm here for you, Bengals fans. This is our therapy. This is a way to get over what we just witnessed. So get in touch, 404-946-3397. Stay on the air as long as we keep getting phone calls. Area code 410. Hi, who's this?
Hey, Nick. This is Seth from Baltimore.
Seth from Baltimore. I can tell you sound really happy.
Yeah. I was watching the game. Well, honestly, I was watching the game, and, at halftime, I think. No. Maybe, after 3 minutes of halftime. And I think when the guy fumbled, but he really broke the plane, so they gave him a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I think after I saw that play, I just turned off the game and said, all right, it's time to go to sleep. I mean, it was that bad. I mean, Andy Dalton, really, 3 picks, 0 touchdowns, and you're at home. I mean, he made the Browns defense look like Seattle's last year, Legion of Boom defense last year. Everything was supposed to go our way. We had Mahomes Sanu, who was getting hot at the right time. We have Hill, who had a great game last game. So we thinking coming in that he's might, have another great game. Our defense was looking like the same defense that get gashed by his running game. Question is, that's why I let all that out. Question is, what do we do, man? Is it time? I don't want to say panic mode because we still have a winning record, but in a close AFC North, every win counts.
Right.
And looking at our schedule, where we got, I think, the next 3 games, on the road. So, and there's no pushovers either, other than maybe Tampa. But looking at how our defense got beaten, and looking at how they, how we sometimes say that's our opponent. I'm worried about who we can actually beat, and I don't know, Nick. Where do we go after this?
Well, I think what you do is you take the next couple of days, because you've got some extra time, before you head out to New Orleans to take on the Saints. You take the next couple of days. I think you go back to the drawing board. I really do. I think you reemphasize running the football. I think they got away from that tonight. But here's the thing. If you're an opposing defense right now, I'm going to dare Andy Dalton to throw it all day. And until Andy Dalton beats that defense, you're going to see 8 and 9 in the box, stopping the run. Why would you even try to run the football when you know our quarterback can't complete a pass? So until that happens, you're going to see a lot of this. Now, the big thing is, can Andy Dalton bounce back? Everybody says he's got a short memory, but we saw nothing of that sort tonight.
Right. I don't even know, man. I was hoping this could be the game. This could be the game that we secure, if not secure, have a one-up on in the AFC North. It looked like everything was pulling our way. The Browns had, I think Andrew Hawkins was hurt. Jordan Cameron was hurt. So the Browns had basically no one that could really be mentioned offensively that we should be worried about. And then Josh Gordon was hurt. So now Cleveland could possibly sweep us if you look at it, because next time we play them, they may have all of their weapons that they didn't have this time, and they were still able to convert third downs and still drive the field a second field on us. So it's funny how we can sweep the Ravens, but the Browns may be able to sweep us.
It's the NFL, Seth. The Browns split the Steelers. Tampa Bay beat the Steelers. It's the NFL, man. Crazy. It's crazy. I just hope that they can get it figured out, and so they don't go 8-8, and maybe they can finish 9-7 and 10-6. Who knows? They could still win the division. It's not completely over with yet. It's just unfortunate that everybody in the narrative for the next month or so was going to be, those Bungles can't win in primetime, can't win in the postseason. And I hope that they can get that fixed soon.
Yeah, we got one more, I think, primetime game against the Broncos, which is we thought Cleveland was good on primetime. The team may go eat us right on up.
Yeah, unfortunately, that game's at home. Maybe that's a chance, but yeah, we shall see, Seth.
All right, Nick. Who day?
Appreciate the call. 404-946-3397 if you want to get in touch. We'll stay here as long as we keep getting phone calls. And if you're calling and you don't get through, please continue to keep trying. I will take as many calls as I possibly get. Again, and look, I was accused tonight on Twitter of being pessimistic. It's hard to defend what happened tonight. It's hard to continue to defend these postseason appearances, these primetime games. And maybe that's a little unfair. I've been a Bengals fan for as long as I can remember, probably since I was 4 years old. And I just want to see him win. And I just want to see them have success in primetime, because I'm tired of the jokes. I'm tired of getting trolled on Twitter. I'm tired of people at work calling me out. So I'm going to try and be positive. And probably one of the few positive things, and probably the only positive thing that came out of tonight, was Leah still being at the game, seeing her dad play. Now, fortunately, she had to watch that game. But $1.3 million raised from the jersey sales of Devin Still for kids' pediatric cancer to the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. If anything, let's remember that tonight. Let's remember that happened tonight, and the good that has done here in the community in Cincinnati. And we hope and continue that things progress, and then we hope that Leah continues to progress with her treatments and gets well. Area code 540. Hi, who's this? 540. You're on the air. I have nothing from 540. Try again, 540. Yeah. Okay, let's try it again. 540. 540. You're on the air. 540. You're on the air. Hello, 540.
Hey, Nick, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, who's this?
Yeah, it's Dave from Virginia.
Hi, Dave from Virginia. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, anyways, just want to thank for hosting this, I guess, post-game, post-mortem.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, man. I mean, these guys got to do some soul searching in the locker room and pull something together for the upcoming weeks. I mean, it's totally unsatisfactory that with all the caliber on this team that they're playing this way. And, you know, somebody's in the locker room's got to step up, you know, and whether it be Whitworth or whoever, you know, stop taking veteran days off and just get in there and get back to business and blowing people off the line. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think somebody needs to go in there and lay into them because they certainly need it. And if you're on the defensive side of the football, it's hard to play inspired when you know that your offense is going to get you nothing. That's got to be frustrating as well.
I mean, you know, both the defensive line and offensive line. I mean, offensive line, they're getting pushed back in zone. Defensive line was also getting pushed back in zone. But the one thing that bothered me, that, like you mentioned before, that you know, you have you know, Still's daughter fighting for her life, and all those kids, you know, with cancer fighting for their life, and you know, there's an opportunity for the Bengals to do something great, you know, along with the city behind them, and you know, these players, you know, with that in the backdrop, with that in the context, you know, can't even push people off the offensive or defensive line. You know, it's just totally unsatisfactory. So, you know, they got to do some soul searching, dig deep, or you know, this team will be lucky to win, you know, 2 or 3 more games, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, Dave.
Yeah. Anyways, great job, Nick, and thanks for our frustration.
Hey, man, I'm here to let y'all vent. Appreciate the call, Dave.
Okay, pal.
Good day. Dave giving her string for Virginia on the Jungle Line. Look, this team finished. They started the year 3-0. Last time they did that, 2006. Nope. Yep, 2006 started 3-0, finished 8-8. Right now they're 5-4-1. They're not finishing 8-8. They will either have a losing record or a winning record. At New Orleans, at Houston, at Tampa, home to Pittsburgh, at Cleveland, home to Denver, at Pittsburgh. So I'm seeing maybe 2 wins, maybe 3 in those games. They gotta buckle up and get ready. Area code 614. Hi, who's this?
How you doing? This is Brian, man. How you doing?
Hey, Brian. What's up tonight?
Oh man, where do you begin?
Yeah, I got nothing, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, it starts from the top down. Marvin Lewis can't ever seem to get this team ready for big games. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say that I expected us to lose this game, but I kind of had a bad feeling, honestly. Not going to even lie. Not trying to be pessimistic, because that seems to be the theme tonight, but
yeah.
We just gotta,
Go ahead.
I've been listening to your podcast. Like you said, we got to go back to the drawing board. Players got to look themselves in the mirror, coaches, and just got to try to figure things out.
What kind of solutions would you offer up? I mean, if you were the head coach, what would you do? What would you do to change the direction that after tonight?
Honestly, I think Marvin Lewis, he's got to start calling out players. He's got to start. I don't think he holds players accountable. I mean, he took Jeremy Hill out the game when he fumbled, but he was the only person running the ball at all, like successfully. So why would you even take him out the game?
Yeah, that was a questionable call. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen him in the game, and I don't know why he benched him. I don't know if that was even an official thing. Maybe they had plans to get Pierman and Burkett in the game, but it didn't look good. If he's your best running back, you got to have him in there.
You got to play him. I mean, he had 154 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Like, I mean, Gio was out, so I knew our offense would be somewhat limited, especially because we run a lot of screen plays and the outside runs and stuff that he does. But Jeremy proved last week that he could handle the rock, and, like, they shouldn't have took him out the game, I don't think.
You know, there was a I don't know if you happened to hear this during the game tonight, but there was a play on offense. Dalton is he's getting ready to call for the ball, and all of a sudden you hear the Browns players all yelling screen.
Screen,
and
yes,
sure enough, it was a screen play, and he threw it right at the feet of the defender because there was no chance. So if the Browns notes come in, that's also on Hugh Jackson as well. I mean, he's become very predictable on his play calling.
Right, definitely. But, like, yeah, I was when he was talking about the screen, I was like, for some reason, if I were hearing defensive players say screen and we were using a screen, I would probably switch the play. I mean, he was able to switch the play on the 4th and 2 in Baltimore. Why couldn't he do it right there?
True. That's a good point.
So that's what I got to say about that. That's why I put that on Andy. I mean, Hugh Jackson, yeah, he comes up with the plays, but Andy's out there. And I feel like he has a little bit of the command of the offense, so he should be able to change the play, especially when the defensive players know what the play is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we just go ahead, sir.
I was going to say there was nothing that went right tonight on offense, no matter what. No matter what kind of adjustments they made, the Browns had an answer for every single thing that the Bengals did.
They teed off on us.
Yep.
Looked kind of like the Colts game, except for it was against the Browns, so it felt even worse.
And it was at home after you had won, I believe, 14 straight regular season home games.
13-0-1 since, like, week 13 week 17 in 2012, something like that.
It was December 2012 against the Cowboys in a game they had a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter and let it squander. So, yeah, and it had been a while.
I remember that game.
Yep.
This game feels a lot worse, though. But we're, 5-3-1?
Yes, 5-3-1. It's not the end of the world. They're not in last place. And It's still, the division's still up for grabs. But when it comes to tiebreakers later on in the year, that might come back to haunt the Bengals. But look, I still think that there's a chance that they can win 10 games. Yeah, they got to win 5. They got to win. They got to win 5 out of the next 7 to do that. But that is going to be tough. Can they beat Pittsburgh twice? Yeah. That would be amazing if that happened.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know if I can expect it to happen, but I mean that would be great. Especially because I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is going to play like the way he's playing now for the rest of the season. So that'll definitely help us out.
Yeah.
But it'll definitely be tough games against Pittsburgh. It always is. But we got to worry about New Orleans. They're a tough team. They got good offense. I got a couple of their players in fantasy. So.
Yeah, I mean it's
be a game.
Yeah, it's make or break time. They got to figure it out because it's not going to get any easier.
Definitely. But I'll let you get to other callers, sir. It was good talking to you. Good job on the podcast. Thanks for staying up with everybody.
Well, thanks for calling in, Brian. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you.
All right, who day? The Jungle Line's open, 404-946-3397 here at CincyJungle.com. I would ask for your MVPs, but I really don't want to give a Browns player an MVP tonight. There was just nothing. Nothing went well for the Bengals tonight. Nothing. Again, probably the big positive highlight of the night was seeing Leah Still there at the stadium. Outside of that, though, there was just the offense was dreadful. The defense just couldn't get off the field. They gave up 170 yards rushing. They made Brian Hoyer look like a Pro Bowler. And if you want to use the excuse of the weather and the elements, I don't want to hear it, because Brian Hoyer completed 15 passes in 23 attempts. I mean, he was able to move the football down the field and throw it down the field. Bobby Carl in the chat room says Leah Still is MVP tonight. I agree with that. She's our MVP tonight. Leah Still. So kudos. I'm glad you mentioned that, Bobby. I am concerned. Chase brings up the injury to Geno Atkins. He injured his right knee. They mentioned that during the broadcast, and then a couple plays later, he was back out there, but didn't look himself. I mean, there was just not a whole lot to really be happy about. Again, Jermaine Gresham, 3 catches for 29 yards, your leading receiver tonight. A.J. Green held to 3 catches for 23 yards, and Mohamed Sanu, 2 catches for 20 yards. Greg Little, remember when he was going to make the Browns pay for cutting him? 1 catch for 8 yards on 2 targets. 4 targets. I take that back. 4 targets. The team MVP for the first part of the season, you could argue probably Adam Jones in the special teams, the way he's played. He had 2 kick returns for an average of 27.5 yards, a long of 34. And for all the talk about Adam Jones being the leading punt returner in the NFL right now, he only had the 1 punt return for 4 yards. So they did a good job of keeping him in check. Kevin Huber, though, 49.8-yard average, doing awesome. He had a long of 69. That was an awesome punt as well. Look, it's one game. You would hope that they can get it figured out. They've got extra days here now to prepare for what's happening there in New Orleans. There's just there's nothing I can say that can defend what just happened tonight here at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. It should be interesting, though, Wednesday night when we do Inside the Jungle live here at CincyJungle.com. Or hopefully the Fearsome Foursome will be back in action. Love to get the thoughts and the takes of Mickey Mentzer, Scott Bentel, and Anthony Cosenza. Make sure you join us 8 o'clock Eastern right here at CincyJungle.com. We'll be talking about what happened tonight and what we should look forward to and hopefully be ready for when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees. Oof. Yeah, Jimmy Graham. Hopefully, Paul Gunther, get your beauty sleep now. Start looking at that game tape. Thanks for everybody who tuned in live here at CincyJungle.com tonight for our post-game coverage. Thanks to everybody who called in. We've heard from a lot of people around the world. That's pretty fantastic. Thanks for downloading the show. Thanks for tuning in live. If you want to get in touch and you want to vent and we're not on the air anymore, feel free to leave a voicemail. 404-946-3397 is the number to call. You can also email me insidethejungle@spnt.tv. As I mentioned on the podcast Wednesday night as well, thanks to everybody who has left iTunes reviews. It's pretty cool. Thank you for all the awesome feedback. I'm here for you fans. This is why we do the show. This is your show, and we're a team. We all stick together. Hopefully, things turn around, and all will be forgiven if they go and beat New Orleans next week. That would be pretty cool. Again, if you want to support the show and you like what we do here at Inside the Jungle, Check us out over at our Patreon campaign, spnt.tv/Patreon. Rough one tonight, folks. 24-3. Your final score tonight. The Browns going to Cincinnati and knock off the Bengals and end their home winning streak. It was a rough one, and we'll be talking about this game for quite some time. Again, join me Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here for Inside the Jungle, where I'll be joined by my tag team partners, Mickey Menser, Anthony Cosenza, and Scott Bansell. Inside the Jungle is an SPNT production. For more information about our other podcasts, log on to spnt.tv. Thanks to my associate producers, Andy Lanham, Larry Rolson, and Mike Barty. Bengals was a tough one tonight. We'll see you Wednesday night. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.